All right, screw the dumb stuff. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, for all the emails. My thoughts come in disconnected fashion. I've had 2 strokes and I've got a birth defect in my brain. You probably know about both. They're pumping cocaine heavily since one of the earlier emails where I spelled out what they do and where it goes and all that. They've been pumping almost continuously. I mean, we're talking, this is 4 miles of lines. And they've been pumping an average between 15 and 45 minutes every time. Sometimes 2, 3, even 5, 6 times in a day. And during the night even. Randomly. Today they were going back and forth across US 19 with it. From intersection to intersection, zigzag, to try and keep it so it wasn't so uniform, the line that forms wherever they pump the cocaine. If you look anywhere it hasn't rained, which was everywhere here, tomorrow on that Satellites Pro, you'll see the yellowed lines, parallel lines, usually near sidewalks. That's what they're trying to do, gas us out and stuff. They're using precursor gases, welding gases and stuff. Precursor for the nanotechnology, I think. I can't remember. And that antenna I show you there, that cross, they had a single antenna on that. That thing wasn't allowed to be used. The church put it in, and the neighbors said no, 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 and the county commission said, okay, you can't do that. So that cell tower wasn't supposed to be in use, period. But they had this antenna on there that just a single pointed out towards US 19 and screamed to me subliminal advertising. I don't know, just stuff I learned through your nanobots or whatever. And as soon as I wrote somebody about that, the very next morning I went for a walk down there and they were taking the antenna down. Came back by, he was still working on it. He had it in the basket of the crane. 3 days later, 2 days later, so my dad walked by. They're back up there taking it down again because I had reported it again that day before that. I seemed to walk a day after I reported. And then the other day when I walked, I had just reported it again. And I walked by and they capped it, as you see in the picture. Obviously, this has something to do with the car sales that have been insane. Because this has been related about big oil with all these car lots involved. They all seem to have gotten involved, like Lauren, through a strip club called Allure and Holiday here. And there's a Newport Richie, either one. Allure. Lauren worked there before she contracted with you guys, her and Michelle Landino. And that's actually where she met all these douchebags that they're operating with right now that have been pumping cocaine for, what time is it? Oh, never mind, I got a phone in front of me. They've been pumping cocaine now for about 25 minutes, roughly. Now, remember, this is 4 miles they're pumping. And like around here in this trailer park, it crisscrosses the entire neighborhood, this grid. If it's the grid you put in for the nanobots, then you know what it looks like. In my yard, unfortunately, it's cut up because they keep screwing with poison, like precursor gases, trying to poison me. But right now, they're trying to poison us with the cocaine. It's working. I mean, yeah, I've definitely got an accelerated pulse. I'm sure you can tell that from the readings, though. I have a heart murmur, too, so there again, if I die, I'm just a martyr to the cause, and that much more of a pain in the ass for you. I'd rather work for you and try and help you come up with some things like, because the subliminal thing's handy. It really is, but if it's used for good, not evil. Not advertising purposes, but used to, say, give someone addiction therapy or grief therapy, to help de-traumatize someone to something that happened in their lives through subliminal images and whatnot. You know how it works. You've got the technology. You've got everything. You could use it for good. Use it to cure psychiatric illnesses with nanobots and stuff, with the chemical imbalances. The psychological implications are huge. But there again, like I put in an email, you can also use that for evil. Like these people do. They push people towards sex offenses. Like I was watching porn for a little while, which I didn't know was probably being pushed to a different way, the witchcraft I mentioned. Yeah, I know. You know, you work for the government, you know it's real. God, What was that?
We were watching porn.
Oh, and they kept trying to push ideas at me in searches. And that's when I realized, a little bit later anyway, when I seen how people were reacting and the things they were saying through the loud mouths, that they were creating sex offenders. They were pushing people to create sex offenses based on those still shots they show you of a moment in time, saying that's an entire lifestyle by putting together 3-4 photos that are of a child, for example, or 5-6 women with a great rack. Like today, they're having me notice the great racks on TV and shit. It's ridiculous. It's just stupid stuff to try and pervert my reputation. That's all it is. They show me getting angry, like here, and then they send that to you. That's how it works. They just try to manipulate their way through life. They're ripping off your program for everything they can besides getting paid by it. Trust me, the cyber coven thing is no joke. I don't even know how to fight them, but that's probably how I'm beating them a lot. And they're no joke. This chick, Virginia Baboni, I don't think she's in your program, but she's a super hacker for them. And it's not good. She's got identity fraud out the ass, debit fraud, credit fraud, false IDs, all kind of stuff. And she's working with these people, creating false IDs, wiping their records and things like that. Unless you're the ones wiping their records, because they disappear offline. But here's the thing. All this has been about big oil for them. Sell as many cars as you can. Pump as many gallons of gas as you can. Burn up the ozone as fast as you can. With the precursor gases, I'm not sure you're aware they create ozone. I'm going to attach a photo, I forgot to do it, of the magnetic field. It's barely over her holiday ever, and most of Pasco County. But see, it's most of Pasco County where they're doing this. It's not just up 19, I don't believe. I think it goes farther out. I just don't walk anywhere but 19. I've got borderline personality disorder, so, PTSD, paranoia. I don't like being out too much. I only walk to the dispensary to and from, and it just happens to be where these people do everything they do. Check with Homeland Security. You get updated information on everything I've sent. Or Sheriff Naco, if you can get him to come off of it. Pat Whalen 2023 at Outlook.com, Pat Whalen 2023 at gmail.com, frankly no 1970 at gmail.com. Those are the email addresses I've used. You're welcome to tool around my Google accounts or whatever. I don't mind. Do what you got to do, and like I said, I'd be happy to work with you guys and help you come up with some creative ideas to use these things, because I think that's pretty creative, using nanobots to cure people psychologically instead of just medically. I'd say that's a pretty cool idea, wouldn't you?